John and Darin's office chairs provided by GT Omega Racing. You can check them out at gtomegaracing.com. Welcome to This Week Inside Sim Racing, October 21st edition. I'm Darin Ganji here with John Sable, and lots to talk about on today's show. First of all, how do you guys like our new chairs?
Pretty fancy, eh?
How do you like them?
It's nice. I mean,
Sporty.
It's sporty. I mean, it fits my body nice. It's comfortable. I like it.
Yeah, I'm liking them. And thanks to GT Omega Racing for supplying them to us. If you guys are interested, remember, check out gtomegaracing.com. So, lots to talk about on today's show. First of all, I just want to mention we were originally going to have James Westy, otherwise known as Gamer Muscle, on the show. And we thought we had it all worked out. We did have it all worked out.
We did.
We wanted to avoid the delay we had with Andreas when we did his Skype call. We thought we had it all worked out and then ran into technical difficulties this morning. So, James, if you're watching, thanks for being patient with us and understanding that we weren't able to do it. But we're going to try to get things figured out and do it for a future show. So, on today's show, we have news about iRacing and the new free content that they have. I'm going to talk about the Raceroom patch that just came out. R-Factor 2 discount that's available till the end of the month.
Yep.
And some new content from them. WRC 5 has now seen 5 different patches on the PC. We hadn't tried it on the PC yet.
We hadn't.
So I got it, booted it up last night. We got some footage of that. It has force feedback, I'm happy to say. Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. Sebastien Loeb, Sebastien Loeb. That's how you pronounce it, by the way. Thomas at Fanatic told me that. Anyway, we're going to talk about the release date for that. We got a sim rig of the week, and then we got a picture of one of my early, can't even really call it a sim rig. It was my wheel at a desk and a PC with a CRT monitor. And we got a picture of that, and then we're going to go to Q&A. So, first up, like we mentioned, we've got iRacing news. And so all new and current members are going to receive a bonus of 5 additional cars and 3 additional tracks as part of their membership.
Yeah, it's this is pretty nice, and this is something that I had actually over the summer they had done. What is it called? I don't know.
A discount or a
not a discount.
Promo?
They had asked everyone in members what they would like, and I said I think they should retire old cars and offer as free content. Well, this is kind of what they're doing here. So everything you see on the screen is all new free content to new or current members, and pretty much it's the old NASCARs, the A, B, and C, and then you get the old V8 Supercar, you get the old Indy car, and then also you get Concorde, you get the old Phoenix like circa 2007 or so, and Daytona circa 2007, which was the old bumpy version. And then on top of it, you might notice on the trucks and the Indy cars, they both get their own fun league you can race in. That's kind of like what they've been doing with the A series now for a while, where it doesn't, I believe, safety rating and doesn't count.
Yeah, the fun series.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the way I've gathered it. Someone said my mic's off, but I don't think that's the case. I think I'm okay.
Yeah, seems fine to me.
So anyway, we'll check in with that later. But I'm seeing Mike there. So yeah, I think that's something they needed to do. They needed to add some more base content. It was not that the current base content was lacking. It's just nice to see them throw in those dated cars.
Exactly.
That no one's really driving anyway. Some people are still driving them, but in leagues maybe.
Yeah, but yeah, they're just sitting there and. Yeah, I think they should be offered. So
I agree.
I'm hoping that they offer some more cars. I was looking through, and I'll probably do a piece on this in the next coming weeks or so. There's some other cars that could probably be offered for free and be okay, like the Solstice and the Jetta.
Yeah. Well, no, wait. Solstice is free.
Or, well, it is. I guess what I was more getting at, I don't know if it should still be in an official league. I feel like there's some cars that, like the Solstice and the Jetta, and they're dated, and maybe they should just be moved out, call them retired.
Well, the Jetta's not free.
Yeah, the Jetta's not free.
So, and it should be.
And the Mustang's still out there, and the Mustang's getting old.
Tired.
So, yeah, like to see some new updates, new content flow through.
Yeah, but it is cool. I mean, they are expanding it, and they put those in a series on their own. So anyway, cool to see.
Yep.
So check it out at iRacing.com if you're interested. And then I think you mentioned, I don't know if you mentioned it there because I saw somebody talking about my mic being off. But did you mention the Riley too? The old Riley?
Oh, that's right. The old Riley, they're not giving for free.
But they should.
But they should, because it's done now.
Right.
It's not racing.
Exactly.
So yeah, there's a couple of those, and it'll be interesting to see if like the old F1 car
I was just gonna
does
say
the same
that.
thing. And also, I kind of wonder, what they have licensing wise. Are they allowed to do that?
It's a good question.
Yada yada. So something that we'll kind of look at a little more, because one thing that even though it's kind of cool, they got 2 more series. iRacing already has a lot of series.
Yes.
So
yeah, they need to condense them a little bit.
yeah, and that's kind of what I would like to see.
Yeah, me too. So next up, Raceroom patch just came out, and we've got some footage of me taking it for a little spin here. Actually, we got some. First of all, we got the patch news.
There's the patch news, and let me pull up your video while we're talking some of the updates. But yeah, I mean, essentially, this was a really big update yesterday, which kind of caught me by surprise. We knew the DTM 2015 was coming, and actually, it was released earlier today. But yeah, they did quite significant updates, and a couple of note, like one thing that was really cool on the DTM 2015 tires, and it sounds like just for those cars, you can now pick up dirt and gravel off-road and bring it back on track with you. So
nice.
That's
now,
pretty neat.
When you ran in the physics test that we were part of last week, it had that.
Yes, it did.
So here's some footage of me driving the Audi 90 at Macau, and we're gonna get to a spot here. Actually, want to go back to the. Let's just keep.
No, we'll keep rolling. But I will say this is one of the. There was a lot of the cars had updates to them. And this is one of the cars that actually got enhanced
external sounds.
Yeah, which was already pretty good.
I thought they were some of the best sounds in all of sim racing. But there is a corner at Macau that I think you talked about it on an earlier show. Mm-hmm. It had been a long time since I drove Macau, and I'm driving that Audi 90 from the 90s, basically. It's going to come up here. We switched to some direct capture footage. Man, it's like tighter than a hairpin.
Yes.
That's not it right there. It's coming.
It's coming.
I can see it on the map. Yeah, okay, now I switched to, this is direct capture footage. So we got a right-hander coming here, and then we got a hairpin. And then this next corner that we're going to talk, and watch me take it into the wall here. This was my 3rd attempt. Mm-hmm. And I keep it over to the left. Here it comes right now. I keep it over to the left to try to make this, and I still drive straight into the wall.
Yeah,
Man, that corner is tight.
Almost got to put a faster steering rack on that or something.
Or like come to a stop and get out near the left guardrail and then just like make a total U-turn at like 10 miles an hour.
Exactly.
Man, talk about it has got to be one of the tightest corners in all of racing, period.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Macau's such a crazy track.
So anyway, back to this update. So the DTM just became available. The 2015 DTM just became available. Am I correct in saying that?
Yep.
They added some tracks, or there's tracks with that pack.
Yeah, there's 8 tracks. And Zandvoort, Red Bull, Euro Speedway, Moscow, Hockenheim, Nürburgring, Norrisring, and Motorsport Arena.
Oschersleben.
Hey, that's perfect. And these were all tracks that were previously available in Raceroom. So nothing new here, but in case you didn't have any of the previous tracks or whatnot, they're all here.
And it's got the 3 car models, the Audi RS-5, the BMW M4, and the Mercedes-AMG C63. And they have 24 liveries.
Yep, and one thing to note, part of these pictures here, I included the Audi TT Cup, which is a support series to DTM and it's supposed to be coming. It didn't. I was kind of wondering if it was going to come out today, but I'm hoping to see that soon. I'm really interested to try those cars out because, yeah, I mean, they look pretty sporty themselves.
I agree. Some people saying the video was lagging.
Yeah, that's odd. Well, some people were saying it was fine, so yeah.
Anyway,
we'll keep rolling.
Moving on. So what else? There was some other stuff that was added. Audio and physics and AI and camera stuff. A lot of fixes and handful of additions.
Yep.
GTR 3 class, massive physics update. BMW M1 Pro car, massive physics update. Audi 90 Quattro, external sounds improved and pitch note increased.
Yep. And then they also did something that I noticed last week driving the DTM 2015 car, is now they have it where you can't downshift too fast and over rev the engine, which pretty much all race cars that have sequential shifting, they have that. So that's why you see like Indy cars especially, you see those guys and they just bang, 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 and I think they hit the paddle more than it downshifts. Because they know the software won't let them. I do that. No, I do. Yeah, the iRacing Indy car, you're able just to flare away at it.
Yeah, I hear you just.
Yep.
And you're usually hitting it more times than
exactly.
Getting yourself down to gear.
So they now have that. I will say I didn't get to try that. I forgot to try that when I drove the update yesterday.
Do you ever over downshift when you do that? So like if you're going for second, do you ever end up going down to first?
No. It always puts me where I want to be.
Interesting.
So
you're just so used to what's actually being engaged.
Yeah. No, I'll let the car be smarter than me. But I forgot to try that out yesterday, but I had the H pattern shifter hooked up because I was playing around with the DTM 92, which is a lot of fun. And then I jumped in the McLaren GT3 and I forgot to turn the H shift off, but I was like, oh, let me try that out and see how it works on the H shifter. So I was going in 5th gear at Spa, stuck it in 1st gear, kaboom. Spin out, smoke, car dead. So I guess that feature doesn't work on an H speed shifter, H pattern, I should say. But yeah.
So Silver Fire asked before the show, since we're on the subject of the DTM, what do you think of the DTM 2015 experience in Raceroom?
Overall, I think
you've driven it. I've only drove recently in Raceroom that Audi.
Yeah.
And I think a couple other cars last week. But I haven't tried the new DTM yet.
Yeah, overall, I like it. I will say it does something I haven't quite wrapped my head around yet, and it's kind of like if you go into a corner, especially a tight hairpin, and if you get in there a little too fast, like Hockenheimring had one of those corners, so it's a big braking zone, 180-degree corner, and if I get in there a little hot and turn the wheel, it gets light, and it feels a little odd.
Almost like a 4-wheel drift, because the way your hand went.
Yeah, it is kind of like a 4-wheel drift. But yeah, it just feels a little unnatural. So I kind of got to play around with that a little more, drive a little more. But outside of that, everything else felt really good about it.
Yeah, we've talked about it on the show. I love the direction that Sector 3 is going, and just in general with Raceroom. So. Anyway, great to see another big patch come out, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot more from them in the near future. So, R Factor 2. So there's a 40% discount available until the end of the week, actually.
Nice.
So, and week's almost over.
Yeah.
To take advantage of the promo, simply enter the promo code 400CT15 without quotes. Oh, without quotes, because...
Yeah, it's quoted.
So it's 40 October 15th, or October 15. So if you're buying R Factor 2, and the promo reduces the price of R Factor 2 standard license with 1-year multiplayer subscription to €20.99, and you can figure out the US price, even though we're doing a Euro time, so it kind of fits.
Yeah.
Or the lifetime license now costs €38.99. And then if you're looking to extend their multiplayer license for a year, you can take advantage of a 10% discount by using 10 Renew. We've got that story on our website, don't we? In our blog?
About this?
No,
I don't know.
BSim's got it.
BSim has it, yes.
Go to bsimracing.com, and he's got that story there, so you can check it out.
This is what I posted about.
Yeah.
Where there was an update to R Factor 2, the tracks for R Factor 2 the other day, Spa and Monaco. And have some pictures going here. And essentially, it was to bring these tracks up to, I guess you can say, the modern standards of R Factor 2, because as was kind of written in the description for Spa, the track was pretty much outdated the minute it arrived in R Factor 2, and it was already the oldest track. So they went in and new shaders, and pretty much it's going to look better, and they say it's going to perform a lot better, a lot less graphics flickering out. And
I love those old tracks.
Yeah, I was looking at this and I'm like, I need to drive this. I think I've driven this track once in R Factor 1.
Really?
I think
Spa or Monaco?
Spa. I've never driven Monaco.
Monaco's pretty close to the current version.
Yeah, it doesn't get much.
There's a lot of similarities, like the back section around the pool, I guess it is.
That changes a little bit.
Yeah, and it's faster coming down the hill through the chicane, which is crazy. You don't have as many. Actually, the chicane is stretched out, I believe. Anyway, it's been a while. That's almost an image coming into it. Yeah, I love driving those old tracks. But I'm an old school guy, but I think a lot of the younger crowd doesn't like the historic stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever seriously given historic content a swing. You know, the only really historic content in sim racing that I really gave a try for a little while was the Lotus 79 in iRacing. I ran that for a couple seasons, I would say, in a row.
Yeah, I didn't run full seasons, but I ran some races there. That's one of my favorite cars in iRacing.
That car is fun, but that car, because of how hard it is, especially because it's different because the whole ground effects, aerodynamics, you got to spend a lot of time with it.
Yeah.
So like when I was driving that, like that was like my primary car. I'd race every like Saturday or Sunday morning.
With that series?
With that group, yeah. Because
those guys are friggin' fast.
They are, but yeah, because there's so few people that drive that, they all pile in together for a strength of field weekly race.
Yeah.
Which is the right way to do it.
Yep, I agree. So what else we got? We talked about at the top of the show, talked about everything at the top of the show, but the WRC 5 group of patches that came out, and you saw the controls there we got a video of. And I don't know if they offered this on the PC originally, but I was able to change the degrees of rotation. And the PC version had force feedback, which was very nice.
Yes.
And I'd say I like Dirt Rally better, but I enjoyed it. I mean, it's definitely more on the arcade side, on the physics and stuff. But I mean, these tracks are pretty tough. I mean, I was at Mexico here, and this was tough.
Yeah, I was watching this, and I was like, I had no idea which way the track was going.
Well, I definitely had to listen to my my spotter. There's some direct capture. Hopefully, we don't get any stutters during these videos. But so some of the things they added triple screen support. This is all PC. I don't think they've come out with a major patch yet on the PS4. Xbox One still doesn't have wheel support, as far as I know, too. It fixed a force feedback bug when going into reverse, added support for the Logitech G25, added support for the DFGT. You're no longer capped at 60 frames a second. You can launch in DX11, it's the default launch, or DX9 if you prefer. So, anyway, you know, we hammered this title when we talked about it last week.
Yes.
And we only ran the PS4 version. But it's good to see that they're listening to the community and or getting their act together and making this closer to a launch title. This is like an early access.
Yeah, I mean, you only get one attempt to make a first impression. And so for it to show up how it did last week, and I kind of looked around, you know, the interwebs, and it kind of universally got beaten up. So we weren't the only ones.
Yeah.
And then so for a week later, for them to come up with all these important updates that seem to make it better, it kills me. It's like, why couldn't that have been out last week?
Yeah.
Like,
well, what's really interesting too is that they've got this whole esport thing. There was a timer in the UI when you first launched, like in 90-something days.
Yep.
This is going to be used for some esport competition.
I think it's gonna be on ESL.
And man, they better get their act together and get this more polished.
Yeah.
I got a feeling most of these ESL guys are just going to be gamepadding it anyway. So all these force feedback issues that we're having is not going to be an issue. So.
Yeah.
So anyway, it is good to see that they are making an effort to improve it.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we'll see a lot more improvements in the future. And we'll keep you guys up to date on it. We'll be doing a full review of it eventually.
At some point.
Yeah. We're going to probably let things calm down, and that takes a backseat to a lot of other reviews that we've kind of put aside.
Yep.
That we plan on getting to. It's just, you know, takes a lot of time.
It does.
Reviews are time consuming.
Yeah, no, I've been dragging my feet on Forza 6. There was even a comment.
Someone asked about the Forza 6. Blame John. It's John's fault. No, I'm just kidding.
It's slow.
It's both of us. We're just...
Slowly getting there.
Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff going on.
So speaking of rally, Sebastien Loeb. Sebastien Loeb. Ugh.
Loeb.
Sebastien Loeb. Rally Evo has a new release date. Firing up the trailer for you guys, and it is now going to be released on January 29th of 2016. Originally, this was supposed to be out about now and compete head-to-head with WRC 5.
Is the sound running during this?
The sound is running very low.
Okay.
So they should hear us plenty. But yeah, this is made by Milestone, which used to have the WRC title. And
yeah.
For better or for worse, don't have it anymore.
I tried this at E3, and it seemed like they, made some, improvements to it. They have a looks like a rallycross.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I saw this trailer, which I don't know if that's just me not keeping up with it good enough, but to some degree I keep up with these things, and yeah, first time I saw rallycross.
John, you're getting laughed at.
I know, I am.
For your pronunciation of Loeb. Sebastien Loeb. I got Thomas Jackermeyer at Fanatic to thank for that. When I saw him at E3, I told him that I had tried it.
Yeah.
He pulled me aside. He's like, don't say it that way. It's not Loeb. It's Loeb. And not Lube.
I don't even want to practice anymore. I'll come back next
John
week.
gives up.
I figured out how to say Audi, so
Yeah, hey, you got it again,
there's
You're on it.
There's a little hope for me, a little. But anyway, yeah, so that was kind of our first look at a fair amount of gameplay. And what did you think?
Again, it was still early.
It's still early.
Yeah, it was still work in progress. And they told me, that was in June.
Yeah.
So, July, August, September, October, that was 4 months ago. And then it's not going to be released until late January of next year. So,
Yep.
You know what? I like the guys at Milestone as a company. I've always liked the MotoGP and the Superbike.
Yep.
And even the MXGP. I enjoyed MXGP. You have to boot that up and you give it a try. But on the car side, they've always kind of fallen behind. It seems like at WRC, they started to kind of get there. And then WRC 4 was crap. It was really, it was, and I say it was crap because I couldn't get it to run on my system. It was locking up and all sorts of issues. So anyway, I like the guys at Milestone, and I wish them the best, and I really hope that they get their act together for this title because they lost the WRC license.
Yes.
And I think there's a reason for that. So anyway, yeah, we'll be checking that out hopefully soon. I'll try to get an advanced copy of that. So next up, Sim Rig of the Week. This guy Sarge shared his rig in our forums, and there's a link in the description of the show here if you want to check it out. And I love what he did with this. It was his original cockpit was supposed to be a budget arcade machine, but over the years ended up with what you see here. And then he realized that he enjoyed racing sims a lot, so he really transitioned this into a racing sim cockpit. As we're looking at some of his parts, got a TH8A shifter. He's running a TX with the 599 Evo rim. This is a Pearl Thump by Butt Kicker. So Githammer, the guys that make Butt Kicker, make that transducer.
Okay.
As you can see, there's an arcade machine there on the right.
Yep.
And you got his car. You put his car. You liked his car. You
Yeah,
put
I
his
was like,
car
I
in there?
got to put the car in there.
That's his real ride. That is a sweet up.
sweet.
Now check this out. I want to make myself an arcade cabinet to play like old school games. I dig that arcade cabinet too, but what a cool rig. And look at this. This guy, he's got a T500 down there in the bottom corner. You can see it. I think he's got a PS4, PS3. He's got a PC as well. Triple screens. Those buttons work, by the way. He's mapped those to USB controllers.
That's awesome.
So that old shifter works and those lighted buttons work. But, man, what a cool setup. And he's like knocking himself in the forums about his shoddy craftsmanship, but
It's fooling me.
he did a great job.
It looks great, and I love the old school like Daytona USA integration there with the modern simulator, and just that whole room is just fantastic.
It is. It's really cool. He's also integrated a play seat, a Takuma Sato edition. The frame, so it looks like he's just got the seat in there, and when we go back to that picture, maybe we can tell how the pedals are mounted. But he's got T500 pedals mounted to the TX, and yeah, and he built that arcade cabinet from a pile of MDF he had, and he says it's fully working. And he said on rare occasion provides a nice distraction with his friends. But yeah, really great job, Sarge. Thank you so much for sharing that with us in our forums. And if you guys have a sim rig, also you can go into the description of our show, and there's a link to get to our forums, isrtv.com/forums, and we have a sim rigs and cockpit section. Share it with us there, and if you bring it to my attention, provide us with a lot of pictures, and some video would even be better, then we'll put you on the show.
Absolutely.
Put your stuff, your gear on our show. So speaking of gear, so we got to go back to that.
No, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so just let's turn off Sarge's. Check out, that's my ex's son. So that is not me, by the way, as a kid. But this is one of probably my second major PC setup. And I don't even know what I was running as far as processor goes. Early Intel, I at one point had a Celeron, so that may have been a Celeron.
What year are we looking at here?
That is probably around 98, 99 or so. So that is 16 years old. That kid is older than you. That's Adam, and he is older than my daughter.
Okay.
Who is the same age as you.
Yep.
And so, yeah, so that tells you, so he's about, Adam's probably about 28, 29 now, and he doesn't look 28 or 29 there. So yeah, that was old CRT monitor. That was a TSW modified that I spent $700 on.
Woof.
Back in those days. No force feedback. Force feedback really didn't even exist back then. I mean, it did, but it was like canned effects. It wasn't like it is today. I think the Logitech Black Momo and Red Momo might have existed back in there. I think it had GPL on the screen.
Okay.
So anyway, I wanted to show. I got a new scanner that scans negatives and images, and I came across that negative. I'm like, oh my god! I didn't think I had any pictures of my old setup. And I found that, I was like, oh, I got to show this on the show. So, anyway.
Nice.
Yeah, someone says Grand Prix Legends. So, that wraps up our news portion of the show, and now it's time for my favorite part of the show, Q&A.
That's right.
I saw some guys got a show, and he called it AMA, Ask Me Anything.
Oh,
but in our case, it would be AUA, Ask Us Anything.
Yeah.
So, ask us anything you want. We've got some questions that you guys already asked at the top of the show. First up, FTR Racing TV says he's a student and he's moving out of his home at the end of the year, and at the moment has a Fanatic wheel stand that has served him well, and an old black office chair that is falling apart. Can you recommend me a good racing chair that would work well for sim racing and also everyday office work on a student budget around $100 to $200? I don't know. And you need to step it up a little bit and get like a GT Omega Pro or an Obuto. I mean, if you want to use it as a desk too and have that
I mean, like I use my Obuto Ozone as kind of essentially a desk and the rig. It's where I do all my editing at. And yeah, I mean that's priced around the $400-$500 price range. So until you get up to that $400-$500, there really isn't anything before that.
No. Play seats, I mean, there's some play seats that are in the $200 to $300 range, but you're not going to be able to use it as like a desk.
No.
You know, to be able to, like he's asking, he wants to do everyday office work. You know what? Your best option is probably to, I don't know if you're handy or you have some friends that are handy or your dad or something, but building something is probably the only way you're going to get to that $100 to $200 price point.
Yep.
You know, the Deathmobile, even if we bought all the lumber fresh, would have probably been about $200. Mm-hmm. So, anyway.
Next question. Back of the Field, great name, asks, have you had any experience with SimWorks products? I have not.
No, I haven't either. That sounds familiar, but have not tried their stuff out. So don't know anything about that. And that was Back of the Field. Did you say that?
Yep.
RGF543 asks, are there any button box for the Xbox One? No, there isn't.
No. Would be nice, but
you could. I think you can run your gamepad in conjunction with the wheel, because I know you can run the gamepad and use chat through it.
Yes.
On an Xbox One. So, but I don't know if you can actually map functions to it. So, like Project Cars allows you to map a lot of functions on the console as well. I don't know if that's going to work though.
Yeah, I've been curious. Like, I don't know if there are really any button box type things out there for the Xbox.
There isn't.
For other gaming or just in general. Let's see. Same question or same person. The RGF543. I have a Thrustmaster TX and the standard 458 rim, and I don't think it's that bad. Is the 599 rim worth the 179.99 pounds price tag? I think it is. If you, I mean, it definitely comes down to what you can afford budget wise, but that rim is awesome.
That's the best rim for the TX.
Yeah, I can't say anything bad about that rim. So if you can swing it price wise, I mean, I'd like to see it be a little cheaper, but the quality of it, I get what they're getting at, and also like we talked about during the review, if you're to go out and go buy your own Alcantara rim, kind of like what Darin did for the AccuForce, you're gonna spend way more money. So really, for $170, $180, or whatever it was in pounds, it's
in pounds. I think it was a little bit cheaper. I think it was like 139.
Yeah,
Euro. It was like 179 and.
It's 170.
Oh, euro.
Oh, euro. I'm sorry, euro.
197. I think it's one. He must have. Maybe he flipped the 97. It should be 179.
Okay, so I thought it was the same price in euros as it is in the U.S. in dollars.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's one. And from what I remember, it's 179.
Yeah. So no, if you can afford it, I would say yes, because it's the best rim out there for that ecosystem.
For sure. Next question from Darin Ralph. Love your guys' show. Watch every week. Thank you, Darin. We appreciate that. And you've got one of the coolest names on the planet. I'm just kidding. I'm sure you and I think so. As a matter of fact, I hated my name as a kid. Do you ever heard of the show Bewitched?
Yes.
They used to make the husband's name was Darin.
Okay.
And Bewitched mother used to make fun of his name and call him Durwood. So when I was a kid, Bewitched was popular as a kid, so everybody would make fun of me and call me Durwood. And I wanted, what I wanted my name to be?
What?
Steve. But I like it now. I don't mind it now. So anyway, he asks, can you play iRacing in single-player mode or offline? He doesn't own a wheel yet, but would like to try it without getting in anybody's way. Yes, you can. I recommend also, if you can get a hold of one, get a Xbox 360 controller. You can plug it into your PC. At least you're going to be able to drive with that, a gamepad, versus using a mouse and keyboard. But yes, you can try it in test. Basically, you can join any session and run as a ghost. So you can test offline by yourself. Actually, you're connected. So you have to be connected to iRacing. So you can't be completely offline. But then you can go into test sessions and run there by yourself, nobody else on track. And then you can also join other sessions that are live as a ghost. And you're on track and you'll be racing with them and not interfering. And that's actually a good way for anybody to practice, just to see where you're at as far as running against, that particular field that you're going to try to race with. Go run as a ghost and see if you can keep up.
Yeah, no, I'll do, if I'm looking to run a race that week, I'll normally earlier in the week jump into a race and ghost and kind of see what everyone's running. Of course, now that
I do it too.
Of course, now I don't know how much that follows up now that there's different weather and stuff like that. So different sessions at different speeds, but still, if you can halfway run with them, that's probably a good sign.
All right, I'm going to answer this one really quick, and this one was just asked by Arthur Estrian. Guys, please, I've asked this question numerous times with no answer. What do you guys think of the new Oculus that is coming out next year, and have you tried it? Honestly, we can't give you our opinion on it because we haven't tried it.
Yeah, not many people have tried it.
I've tried the DK2, and it's pretty cool, but I still think it needed work. I needed crisper resolution because it was really pixelized. It was harder to see down track. Anyway, I did a piece here on the channel. You can check it out. But there we go, Arthur. We answered your question.
My turn?
Yep, your turn.
Silver Fry asks, quick question for Darin and John. Have you tried, and if that was a DTM question. We already covered that.
Yep.
Another one from same person. Another one asking about the review for Forza 6. It's in the works, so I wanted to get it out this week, but have the Logitech driving force shifter reviews going to be coming out on Friday. Have that pretty much done, but gonna hang on to that and release that on Friday, and then really shooting to get Forza out next week. Still, like, to some degree, we have
soon. Hashtag soon.
Hashtag soon. I mean, we have bigger eyes and stomachs sometimes. Like, last week we wanted to run the Bathurst 1000.
That was actually one of the questions.
And I really wanted to run
Cameron Cook asks, how did we do in the iRacing Bathurst 1000?
I really wanted to run it, and I wanted to film it, kind of do a documentary thing, and we just didn't have the time.
We had the time.
Oh, I don't know about that.
But I think we both realized. I told John, I ran some laps, and I was like, dude, I don't think we're going to make 1,000.
It was going to take a lot of time to invest in it, and also it could end in tears quickly.
So you tuned into the top split.
Yeah.
And the majority of the field DNF'd, or were many, many, many laps down.
It was carnage. Yeah, it was interesting because iRacing ended up, they originally only had one time slot scheduled for the weekend to run it, and it was more of a US Euro friendly time, and it was like, it started like midnight in Australia, and the Australian guys were like, hey, what the hell? So they were smart, and they added a second time that was more Australian friendly, and that went off Friday night local time here, and I watched pretty much that whole race. I had it up and paying attention, and yeah, that was, every car out there was beaten up. I mean, it was even the leader, who was like a lap ahead of the whole field, like an hour and a half to go.
He had damage.
He crashed, and then someone else got in the lead, and it's just like, it was a lot. And then I checked in on the races on Saturday, and that was the same kind of thing. And the interesting thing is, I think a lot of people were kind of scared away from it, like us, where I think there was only 2 splits Friday night and like maybe 3 on Saturday. So not a lot of, I thought it was going to have a lot more participation, but I think it's just, people worried about wrecking.
Well, and then they split it up between the Aussie and there was an Aussie split that ran.
There was, but you could have still ran it.
Right.
But yeah, so
I would imagine that the Aussies were most interested in running that event.
Only 2 splits for the Aussie time zone.
So that could have been a total of 5. There was 3.
There was a total of 5 splits.
Yeah.
Which some of the other events have 10 to 12, and so yeah, that was interesting. I think a lot of people got scared though.
I did. Sween92 asks, how did the channel get started, and how long was it before companies were sending you review samples? Why, are you going to start your own channel?
Good question though.
That's a great question. So basically, we were doing a lot of broadcasts. Gregor Hutu was part of it. The Team Redline teams were stuff that we were broadcasting on, just private league stuff. This is before iRacing, and I wanted to expand on that. I wanted to come up with a channel where we were running these broadcasts all the time. And then when we started really talking it out, we realized that not all that many people are interested in watching people they don't really know race.
Yes.
So maybe we need to do something else. And a lot of you know the guy that I used to work with, Sean. Sean said to me, hey, I have a camera. Maybe we could do something with that. So we just started brainstorming it from there, and that's how we came up with the format. How long did it take before we got review samples? Not that long, actually. I think Logitech was one of the first companies to send us. They sent us a G25 and a sound system So you go back to if you go back, way back into our backlog of channel stuff, you can see that review. And then I think we mentioned TSW. That was the wheel that I had. I had done stuff with them. They sponsored some races that that I had a private league, and they did. And they gave us a rig to review, a set of pedals that had a load cell. So, and then it just kept kind of snowballing from there. And we just kept reaching out to people and getting product to review. Now we've got so much stuff to review that John and I need to clone ourselves to get all this content out. But yeah, so that's how we got started. And I'm not going to get into why Sean's not here anymore. That question gets asked a lot, and I'd rather not get into it. I've shared that enough with the public, and I don't need to share it anymore. So anyway, next question.
Question from Brian Blackburn. Any new motion sims reviews planned for the cheaper stuff? I don't think we have
They
any.
don't get much cheaper than that.
That's
when
true.
it comes to motion.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you do DIY stuff, and honestly, I don't think we're going to go that route. Because then we'd pretty much be having to foot the bill for everything ourselves and then have to resell it. So we're probably not going to go the DIY route. I want to get I've been talking to Sim Experience, and we may be getting a stage 1 to test that out. So I'd like to get that on the show soon. So anyway, hopefully that answers your question. And yeah, we'd love to do more. If somebody wants to send us a DIY kit,
Yeah.
we'll be happy to check it out. So what's up next? Do we do any... Oh, wait, actually, Holly Carb. And I can't remember your name, but I know we met in California, and I apologize. As I'm getting older, names are slipping from my brain. Anyway, do I have any Human Racing chassis parts left? I might have one or two, but I was sitting on a bunch of Human Racing chassis, and I sold them all. And I sold a lot of the parts that go with it. So I honestly don't. I saw somebody in chat had some parts, so I would hit him up. Because I don't even know if Human Racing's selling stuff anymore.
I haven't heard much from them in a while.
Oh, yeah. Wim just said we forgot to showcase the Force Dynamics 401
No.
CR video.
Damn it.
We were going to, too.
We were.
Next week. You know what? We got to put that in the notes for next week's show.
I had that in note. I think I had that in notes as well.
I think you put it maybe in last week's. Dang it, we forgot. That thing was crazy running dirt.
I think it's right here.
Is it?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Darn.
We forgot. Maybe we can pull it up really quick. You want to try while I take some questions?
Sure.
All right. John's going to try to pull up that video. Go to Wim's channel.
Yep.
He's got a link to that. So John's going to try to pull that up while I am answering some more questions. Do you do any drifting on some simulation? I've tried it. I've dabbled in it here and there, but honestly, that takes a whole different skill set and mindset, because when you're trying to race, you're not trying to drift.
Correct. It's not the fastest way.
No, unless you're maybe doing dirt rally, but it just doesn't translate into being fast around the track. So I enjoy it. I think it's fun, especially when you get the hang of it and you can keep it on the edge of a drift. Have you tried any drifting?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice and again a different mindset and a different skill set, which I think I could do. I mean, I can drift my Camaro sideways in real life. John's. Oh, you got a blank screen up here.
One second.
You know what? Right click on the scene and edit it. And so you can no, not that one. The empty scene. There we go. So you can add it to that, and then you make it go live. Okay, John's working behind the scenes here. Sorry about that, guys. Stephen Anthony asks, would you recommend getting 55-inch triples? I have one on the PS4 and Xbox, and the lag isn't bad, and I was considering getting two more. What do you think they would work on? Now, that would work. And yeah, you definitely may encounter some lag, and you're going to be stuck at 60 hertz. or 60 frames as far as the speed of that monitor. Problem is going to be you're going to have to figure out, you're going to have to either have a big table to set those on,
Yes.
or figure out some gigantic mount, which is not going to be easy. Did you figure it out?
No, I don't know how to do. I don't know how to pull a video over. I have to do like a screen capture or something.
Yeah, let me see. Why don't you take another? You got a question you can take while I'm...
Yeah, I got a question. Let's see. Virgil Ruff asks, does Project Cars work with the Fanatic V2 base without the hub? If you have the Fanatic base, you have to have a hub. I don't think there's any way to get away from that. I know at least a week or two ago, they had them on sale. The old hub that wasn't Xbox One compatible. It was just compatible with PC and the PS4. So that, I think that was going on sale for like $180 or so. So yeah, I would give, if that's still available, I get that. If you need the Xbox, if you want to race on the Xbox One, then you have to go get that hub. And that one's a little pricier. I think that's like $300 on its own.
All right, I think I've got it.
Okay.
One, go.
Let's mute this here.
Oh,
So
yeah.
here it is. Here we go. Ask and you shall receive. Thanks for reminding us. Check this thing out, you guys. Force Dynamics 401 CR Motion Simulator. I honestly think this is a little too much. I mean, it's really cool and it looks like it's matching what's going on. But man, that talk about roller coaster ride. I mean, that looks insane.
It does. It is. That is a brunking bronco.
Bunking bronco.
Bunking bronco. That's what I'm looking for.
Brunking, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that thing. Those guys make some pretty cool simulators, but I just think, again, I think it's a little too much.
I mean, I know Dirt Rally, that's the Flying Finland stage, which has a lot of jumps, but yeah, it does seem to be moving around quite a bit. But makes for a cool video.
So ZJK Gaming, that's awesome. How much is it? A lot. I would guess that simulator's probably in the $50,000 range, and I'm just guessing. Maybe Wim can add some comments on it here. I don't know if his. I know he talked about different parts and stuff at his site.
Yeah, I don't know if there is. I don't think there was a price given. But yeah, if you have to ask, you can't afford it.
I love that. Hey, William Cook, you're saying thanks for sending our wet Washington weather. Just to make it clear, we're not on that side of Washington. So west of the Cascades, the Seattle area, and pretty much the whole coast, the northern coast of the United States, Portland, Seattle, that they get a ton of rain.
Yes.
We don't. It's bright and sunny here today. And in general, we don't get that kind of rain here. We do get some snow, and we do get some rain, but more than half of our days here in Spokane are sunny. So, William, don't be blaming us for the wherever you are, and the rain that you're getting has nothing to do with us.
It's not our fault.
Yeah.
Let's see, getting back to questions. Stephen Anthony asked, would you recommend getting 55-inch triples? I have one on the PS4.
I just
Xbox.
asked him that. I didn't answer that one. Sorry, you were in the middle of force.
I was. Let's see. CC asked, will you be testing any Steam OS machines when released? Would love to.
Yeah.
Might be something to go try to get our hands on one of those. I'm not really sure what's the difference between a Steam OS machine and a regular PC, though.
I would imagine it's just basically a PS or a PC rebranded as a Steam machine.
Yeah,
I think.
that's kind of what I've gathered from it. So I don't know. Maybe you guys know yourselves, but yeah, I would definitely like to try it, and I'd like to see. I think I've seen them online. They have different price levels. So yeah, I don't know. Kind of seems like a PC. I know there's a lot of different brands offering them. A lot of different computer makers. It's not like it's just Steam doing it internally.
So it is then. I mean, it basically is a PC, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't be surprised. MM said that those were sold for $60K. Wim says the 401 CR price is on request. So, and then to answer your other question, Wim, yes, I was just thinking about that today. We are going to do a post-Twizzler race. We need to figure out what the heck we're going to do and just do it. You know what I was thinking, too, would be kind of cool for that? Would be to turn the cameras around, start a new broadcast, and basically broadcast that live, even if it's just shooting over our shoulder.
Yeah.
So that'd be kind of neat if we can arrange for that to happen. But yeah, we want to make that happen. We're just...
Well, this week we were wrapped up. We probably had 5-6 hours trying to get a live interview together.
Yeah. Which,
So-
again, apologies to Gamer Muscle, and if you were looking forward to hearing from him. That guy is friggin' funny.
He is.
Do you have any of his footage, or did you
No,
scrap it?
I didn't put it in here.
Man, if you haven't watched Gamer Muscle's videos, the guy... I mean, I enjoy his humor. You do.
Oh, he's hilarious.
He is a funny guy and has come up with some funny videos and some really thought-provoking
Yep.
videos. That
Absolutely.
Are most that are sim racing related, and some that aren't. Man, if you want to see somebody that loves the Oculus, Wim will agree to this. Gamer Muscle loves his Oculus Rift. So, let's take a few more questions and try to wrap this up before the hour.
Russell Lowe asks, "Is an i3 good enough for iRacing?"
Yeah, it would hang
I'd like to think so. I mean, one thing
with
iRacing,
a good video card.
yeah, and also, but one thing iRacing right now is very CPU heavy with DX9, and with DX11 coming next year, hopefully it won't be as bad. So I kind of wonder. I don't know about i3. i5 would be fine. I think if you get an i5, you're fine.
I think a higher end i3 with a decent video card, turn all your graphics down,
Yeah,
it should run well.
yeah,
I mean, it should run good enough to where you can race. I mean, bottom line is you need to maintain over 60 frames,
yes,
at least, in
least.
my opinion, to not cause yourself or anybody else problems on the track. So, what else we got?
I have John Egan ask, "I have a T300 on PS4, but want wheel for Xbox also. Should I get a TX base or G920? Love my T300." I mean, if you love your T300, the TX is the same, pretty much. So that might be the better way to go. And also, I mean, it depends how much you want to swap things out. If you get the TX, then you only have to buy the base, which sells for $289, I believe, or $279. And then you can go and take your rim and put your rim on, and you can connect your pedals in, whatever you're using. Maybe if you're using a TH8A shift, you can connect that in. So if you go with the G920, then you're $400 starting over with a new wheel and pedals. I've had people hit us up, I think, on Twitter and a few other places saying, they went and they bought a G920 and they've liked it. And good. I mean, it's definitely a very solid wheel. I think some of our gripes we had with it in the review we did on the Xbox One is it still kind of has that dead zone that the Logitechs have always had.
Force feedback dead zone.
Force feedback dead zone, and the resolution wasn't increased in the pedals, even though I do think the brake pedal feels a lot better. So, yeah, no, it's both of them are good ways to go. But if you really like your T300, a TX is going to provide you pretty much the same experience.
I agree. Are there downsides to VSync on AC? Instead of course, Doug209 asks. It could cause input lag. VSync is known to create input lag.
Yes.
So
on everything.
Yep. So it's best to run without it. I would rather have tearing on the screen and run my F frames per second uncapped. And you can cap it above 60, but yeah, it can cause Psycho Cat is Sebastien Loeb rally already out. Anyway, it can cause input lag, so I don't recommend running with VSync.
Yep. Steve Stay asked, do you have an opinion on which game to start with, iRacing or Assetto Corsa? I mean...
To start with?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I would say both are quality. Assetto Corsa gets you in at a lot cheaper price.
Depends on the route you want to go, too. I mean, if you want to get racing online right away, then go iRacing, and you have to work your way up through the ladder anyway, and starting in the rookie series, which can be hit or miss as far as the racing goes. If you have the money to go iRacing, you might want to just go that route. But They're both great titles, but like John said, Assetto Corsa, one price, gets you in the door.
Yep.
You're doing everything.
Yep. But yeah, no, I what Darin said. I mean, if you want to do multiplayer racing, I think iRacing is. Assetto Corsa's multiplayer is okay, but iRacing is definitely more advanced. And I had another thought, but I lost it. Oh well. Yep.
So we got some other cool questions coming in here. Darin, did you know that the Thrustmaster F430 force feedback is compatible with the PS4? No, I didn't know that. Project Cars, and it appears as a T100. That makes sense.
Interesting.
That makes sense. It's probably similar technology. I don't remember the F430 having a D-pad, though, so you may need to have a gamepad hooked up.
Yep.
Why are you smiling?
Well, because
the Star Wars question?
Yep. Chad Tobias asks, "Did you wear the Star Wars
don't
shirt
like
because
Star
of the
Wars
new
here.
trailer?" Oh no, it's the worst.
Yeah.
No.
John and I talked about it right before the show started that I found a channel yesterday. The guys had like 150,000 views, and they talked Star Wars and Walking Dead, and I'm like, man, we should have come. And they had like 100 million views. But we love Star Wars.
Very excited. Definitely like the new trailer.
Oh, and today's Back to the Future Day. Today
That's
was
right.
October 21st was the day that Marty, I think, went into the future and saw that the Cubs won the World Series. Oh, we're not supposed to talk about baseball. I don't want to talk about it anyway. My team's gone. So anyway.
Some live breaking news. Wim just said that iRacing officially announced that the Nordschleife is going to be released in December.
Yeah, we've. I talked to Tony on the phone a week or two ago, and that's what he told me. He said maybe even an early version may be available in November, but to race it supposedly in December. And something I talked to Tony about, and this isn't official yet, but it looks like it's going to happen. We may be hosting or promoting an iRacing Nordschleife team race.
Yep.
Where we've done some races in the past, the 120 Minutes of Thunder and the March on Michigan. So we may have an inside sim racing, iRacing special event where iRating and safety rating will all be in effect, and we'll come up with some prize, hopefully a big prize package, and we're shooting for December. So
Yep.
we'll let you know if we're gonna make that happen. And the F430 did have a D-pad on the start button because there was it said start.
Okay.
Like the car start.
Yep.
So that's definitely possible, I guess.
By the way, now I remember what the idea I had for the iRacing earlier that I forgot. If you're into oval racing, iRacing is the best place to be.
Oh yeah.
Because
getting started.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it has everything, and
Yep.
Assetto Corsa doesn't do oval racing, so.
You know what? Silver Fire just brought up Raceroom has free content as a good start off before committing to spend money there on another sim. I agree.
They do, and you can test their cars out. Now it's only on the Raceroom track, but I think that's a really cool feature, and I wish other sims had that.
Yep, me too. Fanatic review, Wesley Stokes. So that was actually one of the other questions. Yes, coming soon. John actually was going to mount it all in his rig, the Club Sport.
Oh, yes.
So we got to get that mounted up.
Yep.
And get that thing tested. So yeah, it's coming soon. We're hoping to have that. John's going to be leaving us for 9 days, going back home, visit with his girlfriend and family. So that's going to slow us down a little bit, and then you're leaving again for 3 weeks in December.
I am. Yeah, we
may be taking a long break during that period.
We gotta pound some stuff out so we can release some edited stuff over the month of December.
So, quick couple more questions, then we're going to wrap it up because Charlie is starting to bark and he's driving me nuts. We're going to have Charlie on the show here one of these days too. Super Boomers asks, Darin, have you asked H.E. Hirschigveld, I think I got that right, if we can get pedals for review? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I did when we posted that interview that we did with him. And he says he'd love to get us some, but he's so backlogged in orders that he doesn't want our review to create more orders.
Yes.
And I understand that. So, and I hear that a lot from companies that we do reviews on their stuff, that they see a big spike in sales.
Yep.
So we would love to, but doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime in the near future. John and I talked about doing a DIY build of a rig that he designed called the Foo. That looks really cool. It's a wood rig. He designed and he ran in it for the longest time. If you go look at his channel and his videos, you can see him running in it. So we may be doing a review of the Foo very soon. Yeah. Anything else before we go, John?
William Cook asked, how's those 3 monitors, John? Nothing new to update. Still working on getting a better graphics card, which thought I had one, but I haven't heard back. So
Psycho Cat, we could have Darin and Charlie over Christmas. If Charlie's coming up on 7 months. He's a bull in a china shop.
he is.
So he's about 50, 60 pounds now and has the mentality that he's this big. So, and he's a chocolate lab, if you are wondering what we're talking about. I got a dog back in May. But he is a handful. So I would love to have him sitting right there in the chair with me for an hour while I talk sim racing with you guys. But, man, I don't think he would. You know him pretty well. You think he would sit still?
No, he'd lay at your feet for an hour.
Maybe.
I
If I'm lucky.
You know, unless it's like a doorbell or something. But
Yeah.
yeah. Shifter review coming Friday. I see.
Yeah, by the way,
keep on getting asked.
Yeah, really a quick comment too. We're shooting to try to in the near future have shows out Monday, Wednesday, Friday every week.
Yep.
And we may even have multiples on Monday and Friday. But Wednesday's gonna stick. We're gonna stick to the live show on Wednesdays. We talked about alternating times, but we kind of like this time slot. We know you guys do too. But you know, we couldn't bring a picture of Charlie up. I'm switching subjects. Sorry, but
No.
I could show you a picture of him one of these days. But anyway. So yeah, we're shooting to get shows out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and try to stick to that so you guys can tune back into our channel on those days and know that there's going to be something there. So we got something out last Monday. We got the Rick Motec load cell pedal review, and Friday's going to be the driving force shifter, and we need to start pushing towards some of those other bigger. We need to do the wheel comparison, the Forza 6 review. I'd like to get a Project Cars review done.
We need to get the GTO Mega Art chassis out.
Yep. So again, if you didn't hear it, we got the GTO Mega Racing office chairs. We'd like to thank them for supplying us. You guys will see them on the show a lot because they're great for being at the news desk.
Yep.
So anyway, I think that's going to wrap things up. Anything else, John, before we go?
One more thing.
Okay.
Someone asked about gaming PCs, good place to get them from. If you're looking to build it yourself, there's this website called techbuyersguru.com that I actually used last week because building a computer for my girlfriend. And they do something called the $1,000 gaming/productivity PC build, and they update it every month with new parts. Pretty much what's the best parts you can buy and build the best PC for $1,000. And it's really helpful. And they also have it for if you want to spend more. If you want to spend like $1,250 or $1,750, they have those builds as well. So if you're looking to do...
And there's tons of video tutorials out there on how to build
yes,
a PC.
Exactly. There are tons. So yeah, so if you're just looking for the best components that will work together, since that's the hardest part. And God, me and my girlfriend both spent forever looking over different parts and pieces. You know that with the PC you just built.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, that PC I built, the motherboard manual came with, you know, those square barcodes.
Yep.
That you can scan on your phone. It came with basically, you scan those barcodes and it gives you tutorials, video tutorials on how to build or install that particular part. So even the part manufacturers are making it easier. But yeah, just check
awesome.
on YouTube, and there's tons of videos on how to build your own PC. If it seems like a daunting task, it can be a little time consuming. But
it can be, yeah.
But it's fairly easy. It's like
It's more
square block in square hole.
It's more stressful just the lead up to it and thinking about it than actually doing it.
Yep.
Once it's all done, you're relieved, but it's a good way to go.
Somebody just recommended PC Parts Picker is the best place to go.
Yeah, there's a couple of them out there that I saw. So yeah, they're good. So there you go. PC Parts Picker, TechBuyersGuru.com, all options.
Sepwin, Wendy, hi Wendy, said that although an occasional U.S.-friendly start time would be cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was kind of thinking, maybe we give that a try next week.
Okay. Stay tuned. We may try it next week. We're going to go probably an hour later than our older start time, which is going to be super late for you guys in Europe, we know, but you guys can just watch it the next day on demand, and we'll miss you guys in chat if we do go that route, but we could try it, see how the U.S. viewership compares to our Euro viewership. We were up close to 200 viewers again today. Let's see where we're at. 174 watching now, so anyway, thank you all for watching and joining us in chat. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you guys and talk sim racing. And we, as you can see, we had the chat rolling right here again. So if you're watching it on demand, you can see what was going on in chat. And it may be harder to see, but just if you go full screen, you can pretty much read it.
Yeah.
And we'll try to come up with a better method for it. But for now, that's going to be the way it is.
Yep.
So that's going to wrap things up for this week Inside Sim Racing, October 21st edition. For John Sable and Charlie, I'm Darin Ganji. We'll see you guys next time.